Hi, my name is Jinji, and I'm reporting.
Hi, my name is Jinji, and we're reporting live from Original Studios HQ. This is a couple conversations, and this is episode 15. We're getting the hot take, Jinji's experience on the runway story, a story of support. Let's go live to Tafiq and Jinji now. Tafiq, take it away.
One of the things that we got feedback on because we sent episode 14. If you haven't watched it, we'll put the link. It's fantastic. I produced it myself.
A story of support.
Story of support. We sent it out to a lot of people, asked for their feedback, their ideas, their criticism, what they loved, what they didn't like, that sort of thing. One of the things that we wanted to do was that I wish I had been able to do was get more of Jinji's voice, Jinji's ideas into the episode. But she's having production. She ain't worried about being in front of the camera. You know what I mean? She ain't worried about vlogging. So this episode, we're going to recap about the experience that Jinji had doing that runway show. You came home and you were just crying, whimpering. I noticed that your first inclination when you come home and you're feeling like this was to come directly to where I was. Some people might, go wash their face. Some people might, try to like, I don't know, freshen up. You just came straight to me.
I guess it's like a place that I find comfort. Like you're a safe space, and so like at that moment in time, I didn't know how much emotional release was needed. You know, which I'll spare you the details. You don't need to know. But I cried a lot. Um, I walked in the door because I had been feeling that feeling for quite some time during the day. And I was like, this is not the place or the time to be in this space, but I'm also wanting to tell myself you're going to be able to feel these feelings. I hear you. I know that the bandwidth is low. I hear you. Let's wait till we get home. I had experienced so much stimulation that day that I didn't even know if I was going to be able to have the energy to process those emotions. As soon as I got out of my car and started walking towards the door, I felt them coming up again, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be good." And I walked in the door, immediately started crying. It's like you come home, you can let everything out like off your shoulders and just. So it was kind of like that.
It's kind of like when you go home. You get home and your body knows that you're home, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden you gotta poop. You gotta
exactly.
poop. You gotta pee. You're like running to the bathroom.
Exactly.
Side story. Back at my other apartment, so I'd pull into the garage, but you know how I lived on the sixth floor. My body knew I was home when I started pulling into the garage.
Mm.
So I had so I would have to go from the garage
Wait
and
for the
then
elevator.
make go up 6 floors and go across 2 hallways before I got to the bathroom, walking around with a turtle head.
Mm-mm.
Come out.
Okay, we digress. But
That's what it is. Okay, so you had a similar experience,
I had
except it was your emotions.
exactly I
You
had a
cried.
similar experience, except the turtle was the tears, and
The turtle head was the tears.
and so um, I don't know. It was my immediate instinct. I didn't really think twice about it or anything. I just put all my stuff down, and I was like, I know that I need to see him right now, or that I'll be able to find comfort. And it wasn't like a like I'm sobbing, please help me kind of thing. It was more so just like I always greet you when I come home, and I was like I'm still going to do that even though I'm crying, but I'm just poking in to see what he's doing, see if this is a good time even. Cuz I was very quiet when I came in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't like, you know.
No, you.
I know, and I was just like if I just poked in and left quickly, you probably wouldn't have known, you know. But it was more so like you would have come and see me, come to
Yeah,
check in on me, because
yeah.
you do that if I don't come in first either. But it
Um,
was just yeah.
my next question.
Hmm.
Some people might see themselves or hear themselves, crying, and then like the thought of like, oh wow, it was actually like caught on camera. Which, by the way, it's like that was super random. I actually forgot the phone was even recording. But you were okay. I did clear it. Like I showed her the clip, just the first couple minutes of the video, with that part in it to make sure that she was okay. That I even put it in there in the first place. But you were okay.
Hmm.
Why were you okay with it?
Because it's real. Like, I feel like people try to sugarcoat or hide their emotions. Like, we joke a lot about, like, crying and being sad or, like, being depressed as a way to kind of, like, I don't know, brush it off. It's like, oh, it's
Mm-hmm.
funny, haha. Like, they make jokes about it because I think that there's still discomfort in it. And yeah, you're feeling uncomfy feelings. It's not necessarily the nicest experience in the moment, but I felt so relieved that that I even had the energy to get those emotions out. And that's taken a long time to get to that place, and so I feel like it's real. If it was showing my face, I might have been a little bit more embarrassed, honestly, or something like that, or just been like, yeah, maybe we leave that out. But the fact that it was just the audio, it's super real and transparent. It's like, yeah, I came home and I walked in as I always do, and you just happen to be filming for a reel. It's like, yeah, it's real. I want people to know throughout whatever I do that I'm a real person and I'm not going to be out here like pretending my life is absolutely perfect and I have everything figured out and I never cry. It's like that's super unrealistic. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, what the heck? You live once. I've cried a lot, like I'm not gonna lie about it. Like, yeah,
Okay.
I feel like why hide it?
So
Everybody cries.
so the night drew on. We're sitting on our couch during the conversation,
Hmm.
and and the planning of the night. What did you think about us being able to kind of plan the rest of the night? Like,
I
what are
know
your
that
thoughts and
I
feelings around that?
that I mentioned this to you directly, but that is something that actually really helped was like with being present in that moment as well, because it's like when you're crying or you're overwhelmed with emotion or whatever, you're just kind of like there's this and then there's that and then on top of that there's that and then this and then there's that and it's but it was like that, and you were like, okay, so we'll take a breath. As soon as we get up from the couch, what's gonna happen? And then after that, what's gonna happen? Instead of all of the things, it was
Mm.
like, okay, we understand what's wrong, what we're processing, what we're realizing. Now what are we gonna do? And now it's this time. We can't change these factors, but these are the things we can control. And that was very calming and centering. And so it was like, okay, in this moment, what do I need and what's gonna happen next? So that was really greatly appreciated. I was like, oh, I really actually need to do this
Mm.
more. Yeah, I was like,
I
thank
thought of
you.
that on the fly. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
that was really good.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Like we're gonna keep implementing that.
It's a good practice, right? It's because during that conversation, what I had noticed was, and we do this naturally. There's always so many things that kind of hit us, right? You see me going through it all of the time, right? It's just like it's just the daily stressors of life, being an adult, building a business, right? It's just thing after thing after thing after thing, and you feel like you can't breathe.
Yeah.
So in that moment where I may find myself getting to a point where of becoming so overwhelmed that I can't do anything, I feel like I can't operate. I try to bring myself to the present and be like, all right, what can I do right now? It's like, yeah, I got this tomorrow and that the next day and this the next day. It's like, but what can I do right now? Do I have to sit here and just kind of like be, and just taking a moment to be present? And I'm realizing that even when all things are said and done, when we lay down and I'm in bed, my mind doesn't even know how to be present. Like it's a muscle that I haven't stretched enough. So when we were in that situation, I was like, hey, it's easier to impose that onto somebody else than it is to actually do in practice. But when you're sitting there with another person and you're like, hey, I recognize this pattern because I do it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, maybe this tool will help. It'll help both of us, right? It's like the video still needed to get done. We still had to, perform the next day, so on and so forth. So, you know, sitting there and just ironing out just a plan, right? You were bringing in things that you had to do on Sunday. I'm like, yeah, that's all good and well. You do have to do those things on Sunday, but let's not worry about Sunday on Friday night. Let's wait until we get through Saturday to start worrying about Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're already kind of like backed up.
Yeah.
It's like let's just take it moment by moment, and then as we rest and as we generate more of a calm, then we can start thinking about more of the days because then our capacity is kind of expanded. We've slept, we've taken a shower, we've eaten, we've gotten some adrenaline from completing a day, right? You get kind of
Dopamine.
like that high, that peak, and then at night,
Dopamine.
that dopamine, that serotonin,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you kind of crash, and then you complete the day on a crash because you spent, right, and you can feel confident in that the next day you're kind of relieved a little bit but ready.
Yeah. Hmm.
Well, we should be implementing that more often. I know I do it in micro situations in my mind,
Well, that
but
was the thing. I liked that because it was like not only did you impose that, but in a right way, in a righteous way, but it was like you also took the lead on it, so it helped me get out of the, you know, entanglement of my own mental web, I guess I would say.
mm-hmm.
I was like, there are all these things. Of course, there were outside things that I couldn't control that were affecting me, which, we shouldn't let external things have power over us, which is another thing we've discussed.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that needs to be continually practiced so that, you maintain your power. But it's like you took the initiative to be like, this is a way that I know that I can support her and make sure that she's okay and take care of both of us. Um, so, like, I'm sure you used some of your bandwidth and capacity by staying up and, you know, dealing with the parking and things like that. And those aren't necessarily things that you want to do, but they are also things that you were willing to do to pour into my cup so that I could get through the day. So,
So
yeah.
outside of that situation, what are what are some ways that you enjoy being poured into? It doesn't necessarily have to be specific things that I do. It's just ways that you may find anybody, kind of revitalizing your cup.
Mm, I think that I wrote some things down the other day. Um, I know I wrote like when it's like because it's a really genuine thing when people are like, oh, this made me think of you. I thought of you. Like that's really sweet. Like this reminded me of you. And that's just like a small thing that is like, doesn't change hugely, but can significantly affect depending on the other things that are going on. Um, just reminded me of you. Or like, like times when you're like you got that sushi burrito and you were like, I could have easily eaten this whole thing, but I'm gonna think ahead because I know Jinji's gonna come home and probably be hungry. And you saved me half of it, and then made sure it was something that I could actually eat. And then like, I don't know, time, someone who's like present and attentive and is like, I you are worth listening to, or you're worth my time, or I will make the time to make sure that your needs are met or you feel heard or seen and valued. um Yeah. Mm. How do I like to be poured into? Um,
Yeah, you do.
no, I said, how do I like to be poured
Oh, I
into?
thought you said I like being poured into.
I mean, I
I was like,
do,
yeah, you do. You're like,
yeah.
yeah, give it to me.
Yeah, but it's also like that's a learned skill too, you know?
What? Learning how to be poured into?
Mm-hmm.
It is,
Learning how to
right?
receive.
Yeah. It's not always easy.
Mm-mm.
I know I have issues with it, but you make that a lot easier. I know it's like sometimes I'll be, the ratio in terms of what we contribute just to keep our home the way that it is, comfortable, clean, fresh, like all of that, all of the things that we do. And, it goes through waves, ups and downs, right? Um, but, the ratio of work that you put into it versus I put into it, it's never like a 50-50. It's always skewed one way or the other. Um, and I recognize all the things that you do, whether I see it done or not. And I mean, like, it could be something as little as replacing the toilet paper, right? Like putting the toilet paper back on the thing because I knew that I didn't replace it the last time I used it, right? But then it's also funny because then my part is like I see the new roll, but then I see the old cardboard thing just next to the toilet, and it's like your way of telling me do this part. So I'll take the roll and I'll walk it out to the recycling here and I'll just throw it in the recycling thing, right? But it's like those types of things, we don't have to sit there and argue about them. We don't have to be like, can you replace the blah? It's like it's not even worth that. It's just we just do what it is that we can, how we can, and then more often than not, it's more than enough in terms of showing up. And then all those little things, replacing the toilet paper, putting the cardboard into the recycling, all those little things kind of like combine into the bigger realm of what it takes to kind of keep our home homey, right? But then there's huge projects. Like you take care of all these plants. Not a single one of these plants came from me. So, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'd be really sad if the plants weren't here anymore,
Yeah.
right? They're not my plants, but they're our plants. But you still hold um, valiantly the
Mm.
responsibility of taking care of them. So I appreciate that. And it's not like I'm not sitting here thinking those are her plants, so she needs to take care of them if she wants them. It's like, no, those are our plants
Mm-hmm.
and they need to get taken care of. And if, you know, it's been a little while, I'll be looking at them sometimes and I'll be like,
Nice catch.
um, I might be like, these is looking a little dry. You know what I mean? I can help you bring them. You know
You
what I
check
mean?
on them, you do.
I do.
You're like, oh, these look like they need some water. Or you'll be like, what do I do? Like, how do I take care of this one? I'm
You
like,
know,
yeah.
so I do what I can here and there, but no, I see all the work that you do either here or and then even outside the house.
Mm.
Outside the house, you're working. You know what I mean? It's super cool to watch.
Thank
You're growing. You're doing your finance thing. You're studying at night. Like I see it.
you.
I see it. It's super nice because then I know while I'm grinding on original studios, you're working just as hard,
Mm.
if not harder, on the other side of things. So it's nice to know that even though we're working on two different things, it's like we're still working in alignment because why we want to learn more about how to handle our finances as we go, right? And then we also want to build a vehicle, invest our time in building a vehicle that's going to pay us back.
Mm.
So,
I also like being poured into by words of affirmation. Or
yeah,
like
you
what
love
you
that.
just did where you're like, like I'm proud of you, but like not the generic like, wow, you did a good job. It's like everything you just did. It's just like, no, I'm speaking from my heart and I'm really proud of you and I see you and I know that you're working really hard and I appreciate what you do.
Mm.
I like that. I really enjoy that. It's like learning to receive the like, yeah, I am working hard and like
Yeah,
I don't have to downplay it. I can just be like, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for seeing how hard I'm working. So,
Against against all odds too, because I know the way that you're going about certain things, certain people might not, think it's the best route, right? And then, but to then keep going
Yeah.
is, that's admirable. It's really,
Thank
it's dope. Um, so we're wearing our original studio shirts right now, and that is because we came back from a shoot today, and we were, in uniform.
you. Mm-hmm.
We'll show you a little sneak peek into that next week. Um, yeah, and I think, part of the couple conversations, we'll be having more intentional conversations around what it is that we're building, how we're going about building it. Um, because we can talk about building, but I think it would be pretty impactful for maybe people to kind of get a sneak peek into what it is that we actually do throughout the week. We've been more intentional about bringing our camera and taking those shots that kind of add to that story,
Yeah.
add to the layers, because we pretty dope. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, we're pretty dope. I'm sitting here turned like directly at you. The
I know.
camera is.
I'm looking like this. We're like gazing
Talk to
deeply
me.
into each other's eyes. It's nice though. Like the camera's all the way over there. I'm like, I want to look at you.
Mm, mm. Okay, let's close this down.
Okay.
This has been another couple conversations between a couple for a couple of people. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and all of the great reviews. I can't wait to like compile the reviews from that last video and kind of throw it somewhere. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that'll be fun.
Yeah. If you haven't watched the last video again, you should watch that. And if you have already, watch it again. Yeah, it's my favorite video to date. And yeah, you did a really great job. So I told everybody and my mama literally.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good one. I had fun making it.
Yeah.
Came together.
Mm-hmm.
More to
That's really
come.
special. Literally, like diamonds are made under pressure. You fucking killed it.
Yeah.
You were like, this is a diamond.
I
In
am
the
a diamond.
in the rough. You are a diamond. This is a diamond. It's the riches. I don't know.
I am a diamond. All right. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you guys.